Good evening. Welcome to the February 28th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Nguyen, was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Number 1 on the agenda, please.
With regards to our meeting minutes for February 14, 2019.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Howe. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Applications for special one-day license to sell, dispense malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Applicant Ashley Roper, catering manager Aramark, will be unable to attend this evening's meeting. Unfortunately, she was a victim of composting. But she will be at our next meeting.
Have to make that one up.
Next applicant is Abby Composola for an event at the UTEC at 35 Warren Street, Ghana at 62 Independence Day Party, Saturday, March 9, 2019, from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the UTEC facility at 35 Warren Street. Application for a special one-day license to sell and dispense all alcoholic beverages. Pauline A. Minch of St. Michael's School for the live auction fundraiser Saturday, March 30th, 2019, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at St. Michael Church Hall at 14 6th Street.
Do you want to do the next one first, or you want to do Abby first, or?
Sorry?
You want to do Abby first?
Yes, by all means.
Okay. State your name for the record.
Abby.
Abby, your last
Boy.
name. Okay. All right. So what? Tell us about your event, Abby.
Tells you about myself.
Put the mic right there.
Oh.
Tell us about your event.
Oh, we're having an event for the Ghana independence, because every year we celebrate our independence. So we're trying to raise some money for the people that needs it in Africa and stuff like that. So every time we have our independence, we make sure that we do some events that we have a lot of people that comes there, and we try to raise some money.
How many people are you expecting?
It's not really that much. Maybe about 100 or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is this the first time you've held this license?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand your responsibilities with this license?
Yes.
Okay. You have any questions for this board?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
No.
Open up the questions to the board. Move for approval by Commissioner Howe, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Good luck with your event, Abby.
Thank you.
All right.
Proceeding with the application for one-day license for all alcoholic beverages, Pauline A. Minch of St. Michael's School for the live auction fundraiser Saturday, March 30th, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. at St. Michael Church Hall.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Pauline Minch.
How are you, Pauline?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. One more. How many years has this been for St. Michael's Fundraiser?
I was just trying to think of that. I think at least 20.
Wow, fantastic.
20 years, and it's biannual.
Very good. Very good.
So,
expect a good crowd?
maximum capacity of the room seated is 300. So we usually draw a very good crowd.
Very good. All right. Is this your first time holding a license? Or?
No, I did it a long time ago. I was a co-chair 4 times.
Long time ago.
When I was a parent.
Okay. So you understand your responsibilities, right?
I do.
Okay. You have any other questions for the board?
No.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Ms. Mitch? Motion by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Pauline, best of luck on the event.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Proceeding with the application for a special one-day license to dispense wines only. Jim Diamond, Executive Director of the Brush Art Gallery and Studios at 256 Market Street. There are a number of events scheduled for the calendar year 2019, starting with an artist talk, UMass Lowell faculty exhibit for Saturday, March 23rd, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Artist Reception Annual Studio Artist Exhibit, Thursday, June 20th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The Artist Talk Annual Studio Artist Exhibit, Sunday, July 21st, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Artist Reception Quilted Portraits. We've got Personality Exhibit, Saturday, August 10th, 2019, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Artist Reception Photography Exhibit, Saturday, October 5th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And last is the Artist Reception for Annual Members Exhibit, Saturday, December 7th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Jim Diamond,
How are you, Jim?
doing well, thank you.
Very good. You always do a good job of your events. Does the board have any question for Mr. Diamond? No. Move approval by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner Howe. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Jim, good luck with your events.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Proceeding with the application for special events permit for amplification of sound. Marta Babinski, the Center for Hope and Healing, Inc. That's a sound system for the Take Back the Night activity, which is scheduled for Thursday, April the 11th, 2019, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Arcan Plaza.
Good evening. State your name for the record.
Marta Babinski.
How are you, Marta?
Doing well. How are
Good.
you?
What's going on there?
It is an annual rally against sexual violence in Lowell. It's the 14th annual one.
Very good. Very good. Any questions for Marta? Move for approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Howe. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with the event, Marta.
Thank you.
All right.
We have now an application for a public amusement license. A carnival, Dean and Flynn, Inc., doing business as Fiesta Shows of Seabrook, New Hampshire. John A. Flynn, representative. The Fiesta Shows Carnival is scheduled at the Welcome Festival Field, 381 Pawtucket Boulevard, starting May 24th, running through June 2nd, 2019. Hours Tuesday to Friday. Weekdays would be 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and then Monday and Saturdays, 12 noon to 11 p.m. There will be 2 Sundays, and that's a separate license.
That's fine. State your name for the record, sir.
John Flynn, president of Dean and Flynn, doing business as Fiesta Shows out of Seabrook, New Hampshire.
How are you, John?
Here again to request the use of Welcome Field for the annual fundraiser for the city.
Very good. How are things? How's business?
It was wet last year,
It was wet.
but overall good. You know, it's funny, before I came over here tonight, this is probably the quickest I've ever been through here. I can't believe
Want to
this.
keep it that way, John?
Yeah, but I went back over some old records from my father, and I guess we started doing business for the city in 1971 was the first
Wow.
event he did for the city, so it's been quite a while.
That's great. That's great. Do we have any questions for John? Move for approval by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Howe. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. John, best of luck. You do a great job.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
On our backside of our agenda, we have a matter to do with a hearing that began on February 14th, continued. The allegation of misconduct is charged by Raymond Kelly Richardson, Superintendent of Police, dated January 3rd, 2019, against the licensee Boomy Liquors, Inc., doing business as Pacific Liquors, 421 Central Street. And this is an all-alcoholic beverage package store licensee. There was a commission just for the purposes of the request by the commission at the last meeting to view a video, and that video was made available to the law office, and I, with the 2 members of the law department attorneys, had an opportunity to review that video, and I believe it's advisable that the commission consider going into an executive session at the time a viewing is to take place. Unfortunately, it would require notification to a person who is the primary suspect in the matter, and it would require, according to the law department, proper notification to that individual of the viewing of the video.
There's a motion on the floor by Commissioner Howe to reschedule for March 14th meeting, seconded by Commissioner Donahue. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll see them on March 14th.
Proceeding with other items on the agenda, we have communications from the Superintendent of Police, starting with a communication regarding the Last Safe, Inc., doing business as Last Safe and Deposit, 160 Merrimack Street, Timothy Regan, manager. That communication is dated February 20th, 2019. I also want to advise the commission, since the matter is also pertains to Last Safe, Inc., the manager of record, Timothy Regan, I've been advised by ownership of the company back in June of 2018 that he was no longer an employee. And it was my understanding at that time that the principals in the corporation were intending to apply for change of manager. That application was never submitted. And now we have this complaint against the licensee from the superintendent. We also have another complaint, which I can read, regarding Last Safe, Inc. This is a communication dated February 26, 2019, listing also Timothy Regan as the manager of record. So I would, once the commission chooses to set a hearing date or hearing dates for these matters on Last Safe, Inc., they wish to advise the licensee to, if the manager of record, Mr. Regan, is no longer their employee, they should file application
So,
change of manager.
so just for clarification, you telling me that they haven't had a manager there for a year?
Based on a conversation that was conveyed to me by one of the principals in the corporation
Yeah.
back in June. I have no record of it. I checked my emails. It was a telephone conversation I had. I'm trying to recall if it was actually a telephone conversation or a conversation I had with him at the office, in which he conveyed to me that Mr. Regan was not, and they were looking to proceed with the change of manager. And this is at a period of time when we were dealing with another licensee whose manager situation was unresolved. And I think he may have felt some
Okay.
need to notify me of the situation. I was anticipating an application, and one of the other principals was intending to be the applicant. I do have an email record of that, and that, not just to suggest to him, I suggested to that individual he should contact an attorney, because he was talking about, asking me a question about disciplinary action that he was a part of that proceedings on a disciplinary matter. That matter, as to how he would address the question and the application for change of manager, I suggested to him that he would contact an attorney on that. But that's the last
So don't be,
communication I
so don't
have
be
of it.
surprised if there's an application on your desk in the next week, is that what you're telling me?
I'm sorry?
Don't be surprised if there's an application on your desk in the next week? Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, not to prolong this unnecessarily, but who's going to show up? Who are we asking to show up for the hearing, which we'll schedule in 2 weeks?
For the Last Safe, Inc., it would be the principals, Alan Kaplan and Timothy Kelleher.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger to schedule the hearing, both of those communications for March 14th, seconded by
If I
Commissioner Howe.
may just
Yep.
offer one comment on that
Sure.
date.
Sure.
In terms of having a solicitor present in the notifications, the second complaint with the Last Safe, Inc. pertains to minors on the premises, which is the communication dated February 26th. I didn't know whether the commission might have any interest in trying to subpoena witnesses, but I was wondering if it might be in the commission's interest to continue, not schedule it for the 14th, but maybe the March 28th. I could request of the law department to review the communication if there should be a need to reach out to certain individuals who are believed to be underage.
So
Uh,
you're
Commissioner?
saying we don't have a sufficient case as it is?
No, he's making a suggestion that if we have minors and if they bring them in and question them saying they were there, that would help our case. Commissioner Howe?
I agree it should be continued for 2 more meetings, just because if there is a witness or 2 that we need to subpoena, I'd like the law department to subpoena them.
How many minors are we talking about, Ryan?
At Last Safe,
Yeah.
was there 11?
So we're going to subpoena all 8? Are we going to subpoena all 8?
I don't know whether if that's practical, I mean, I can notify, I think there is an address, I believe, for most, if not all of them.
Captain?
Right. Several of them are UMass Lowell students, so we would be able to locate them. Several have been identified as not being UMass Lowell students.
I
I
say,
think it would be wise to subpoena all 8 because I don't think all 8 are going to show up.
That's fine. Let's do that. Let's subpoena all 8. Okay?
For March 28th.
Yeah, motion by Commissioner Howe, seconded by Commissioner Donahue to schedule both communications to March 28th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Commissioner Donahue.
While we're on the last save and deposit and getting the information about a manager, is there anything that perhaps we've done in the past where there's a failure to have a manager that we take some action with the last safe and deposit in regard to failure to notify the city and to failure to have a manager?
Well, I think from what we dealt with last summer in this similar situation, I think it was advisable that we give the licensee 30-day written notice to file application for change of manager. I just want to.
Let's, why don't we hear from the principal owners and see what their story is, and I think we go from there. I mean, I still think, Timothy Regan is still on record as the manager of record.
He is.
All right, so.
But if they state to you at the meeting on March the 28th
Right.
that Mr. Regan is no longer their employee, then they should be notified at that time. They have 30 days to file the application.
I agree. Commissioner Krieger?
yeah, I don't, because they apparently were aware of this in June. That leaves July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
Well,
They should have taken action. They are aware of the rules. They are aware that they should have given us a manager. And while it's partly an overstatement, if there was underage drinking, at least part of that may go to the fact that they didn't have a manager, and they knew they should have a manager.
now, Ryan, you got an email saying that Timothy Regan was not the manager?
No.
Okay,
I
so
did not
who-
receive an email stating that.
How did you find out?
Alan Kaplan told me, and I'm trying to recall if it was a telephone conversation or a conversation I had with him at the law office.
Okay.
In June of 2018,
At that time, did you tell him to get a new manager?
that Mr. Regan was not their manager anymore. He's apparently, he made it seem as if Mr. Regan had another job or moved on to another position elsewhere, that he was leaving his job as the manager of record for the last safe.
Yep.
Mr. Kaplan and Mr. Kelleher, and I think if you read the communications from the superintendent of police and our most recent communications, you can readily see that they are hands-on owners, that they're in each complaint from the superintendent with respect to last safe, in my reading of it, Timothy Kelleher interacts with the commanding officer of the Lowell Police Department and is recorded in the complaint on the matter. In addition, in the second complaint, which I have yet to cite for tonight's meeting, it had to do with the Village Smokehouse. Alan Kaplan and Mr. Kelleher, I believe, were both present at the Village Smokehouse the following night.
The manager of record at the smokehouse is who?
Alan Kaplan.
Okay, so they're fine on that end.
I understand where you're going with this. I just want you to be aware of the fact that these gentlemen have been before this commission on numerous occasions, and I think they have an attorney who knows certain things that.
I get you. That's fine, I understand. Commissioner?
I just want to make sure the commission doesn't get into the same situation we dealt with.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Commissioner Donahue?
Mr. Chairman, would it be appropriate to ask the police department to go over and have an answer for us for the next meeting, whether there is a manager or not? Or are you
Well,
looking at it as,
Well,
go ahead.
Brian's going to send out something anyway. Well, that's a good point, though, because we have not got confirmation that Timothy Regan is actually not the manager. I mean, there was nothing written to you?
Nothing to declare that Timothy Regan is no longer the manager of record. I have no record of it. I have a conversation that I recollect having had with Mr. Kaplan, who is one of the principals in the Last Safe Inc. I had a communication from Mr. Kelleher by email inquiring about the application for change of manager pertaining to the Last Safe Inc.
Can you do me a favor? Can you email both Mr. Kaplan and Mr. Kelleher, CC the board, and ask them if Timothy Regan is still the manager? And have them
Okay, I
reply
can-
to all of us. Just so we know, he's got 30 days at that point, and it's got to be clean, right? I mean, we got to do it right. If we don't have anything solid right now saying, in fact, that Timothy Regan is not the manager of record. I get it. He said he
Right.
spoke with you, but if that was the fact, then, with all due respect, if you knew in June, this board should have known in June.
Do we have access to the big database from the ABCC that we could check and see if Mr. Kaplan had picked up a position as a manager of record elsewhere and when that happened? And if not, why not?
This is
We're
confusing.
speaking of two licensees in the city of Lowell that Alan Kaplan is owner of. One of the ownership,
No, I'm speaking of all the establishments in the Commonwealth. Does not the Control Commission have access to the names of all
well-
the managers of record? Can you not sort the
the
spreadsheet?
system that the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission has now in place in its e-licensing I can't say it doesn't make it accessible, but it doesn't make it user-friendly.
Well, that's why they're down there, so they can help you.
I'm up here. I'm not going down there, sir.
Does anybody have any comment on my request to Ryan that an email be sent out?
No, that's
Commissioner
fine.
Howe?
I agree with that, and I think we should have the owners come in
Yep.
at the public hearing, and we can question them on it.
Yeah, I agree.
I still think it's on them that there's been no
But
manager
that
of
can
record.
that be not brought to its attention March 28th, or do you want it before March 28th?
Well, I would like to get the process underway if in fact they've got 30 days. I mean, it's still 30 days is going to bring us April 2nd or 3rd. So we won't be, I mean, we can still question them, but at least the process be underway. There's one less month that they'll be without a manager of record if they don't in fact have a manager of record.
Well, I certainly can communicate them in writing and
Okay.
CC the License Commission on in a written communication
fine.
by certified mail on the matter of Last Safe Inc., manager of record, and is Timothy Regan still manager of record or is he not? There's nothing in the police reports that we have presently
Yep.
reflect that.
Right.
In fact, almost to the contrary. I think the second of the two complaints against Last Safe Inc., because he's not part of it, he's not even listed, other than in my communication with Captain Hodgson as to identifying who the licensee of record is.
Yep.
In that regard, I provided him with the Timothy Regan name as the manager of record. He is the person who is responsible for the day-to-day operation. It is Kaplan and Kelleher, those two gentlemen, you'll see in the police reports, are right in the middle of it all.
Right. And those gentlemen know the rules and regulations of the Lowell license.
But I will communicate to them, and I will point it out to them, that this is information that I've conveyed to the board
Yep.
based on a conversation I had with Mr. Kaplan
That's
and a
fine.
follow-up communication from Mr. Kelleher, and need verification, and if it's true that he's not the manager of record, they have 30 days in which to file an application for License Commission consideration.
Yeah, and we can have a discussion with them on the 28th.
And then,
to that
you
fact.
can follow it through if they haven't already submitted that application beforehand.
That's fine. Commissioner Krieger?
When you issued the license at the beginning of the year, did it list a manager of record?
Of course.
Yes, it's, the only way you can change your manager of record is if you have application approved by the local licensing authority and the state.
I've got that. I'm just trying to make sure that when we issued the license, it said Kaplan.
Mr. Regan is listed on the liquor license.
I'm sorry, Regan. Okay.
So we have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Howe to schedule this on March 28th. It's going to be seconded by Commissioner Donahue, and we'll see them on the 28th for both communications.
It's the last safe hearings.
Yep. Yep.
Proceeding with the number 9 meeting agenda item, we have a communication from Raymond Kelly Richardson, Superintendent of Police, dated February 26, 2019, regarding the Middle Street Village, Inc., doing business as Village Smokehouse, 9298 Middle Street, Alan F. Kaplan, manager.
Captain Hodgson, are we dealing with minors here in this case as well?
Yes, that's correct.
That is correct. So-
One was arrested inside, one was arrested outside the establishment.
All right, so let's be consistent here, and let's subpoena both of those underage patrons. Motion by Commissioner Howe to schedule this meeting March 14th, seconded by Commissioner Donahue.
28th
You want to do the 28th, or,
Yes.
for the time.
oh, for the time, for the subpoenas, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. March 28th,
Thank you.
seconded by Commissioner Donahue. Sorry, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Well, passes. Number 10 on the agenda?
That's all I have to offer.
I'm removing that item, number 10, with no discussion.
Placed on file. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Donahue to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item
Everyone-
10, shouldn't there have been a second?
We'll second it, yeah. Everyone have a good evening.